Video. Video.
So when your fight, gang?
September 12th.
What y'all fighting? 54 or 47?
47.
Is he gonna make it? Huh?
I don't think he's gonna make it.
Huh?
He couldn't. He was struggling to make 149.
I don't think he's gonna make it either. If you do, then you ain't got no claws in.
Let him get up.
Huh?
Let him go up.
No,
The more weight you get after the fight, the slower you are.
A little single espresso, shall we? 100%. Well under. That's it. Still made 147.
So, and I'm not convinced that he's still strong at 147. I think he's got a bit older. He let the bar out to go up and fight Eubank with 160 pounds. The difference between 160 and 147, it's only 13 pounds, but it makes so much difference to a guy's ability to hold a shot, to deliver a shot, to be explosive, to have that explosiveness in the middle of a fight and near the end to be able to get a guy out of there. All of those things go when you burn yourself down to make weight.
What up, though? Ryan Garcia or Conor Benn. I got I'm leaning towards Ryan Garcia as far as experience and skills, but Conor Benn definitely has a puncher's chance. So Ryan has to be really sharp and on point and defensive minded. While he's he's mainly an offensive fighter, but he needs to have some. He needs to turn.
Conor Benn is stepping into the biggest fight of his life, but newly leaked training camp footage has...
What really concerns me about Conor Benn going into this fight is not his characteristics and and his will to win and his punch power, but making 147.
Yeah, it's going to be a
fight. Yeah. A fighter that's dead at the weight.
4 years.
We saw it in his last fight against Regis Prograis down at 150.
Yeah.
He looked dead at the weight.
Yeah,
the punch power wasn't there.
Over the welterweight.
Yeah, 3 pounds. I know this as a smaller fighter. Making that 3 pounds, losing 3 pounds in fluid is
killer.
Catastrophic. It's so difficult to do, and that will drain him even more. My worry is he can't do 147 anymore.
On September 12th at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, the British star is set to challenge Ryan Garcia for the WBC welterweight world title. But as fans inspect recent footage of his training, alarm bells are ringing across the fight world. The once bulky middleweight frame that tore through opponents looks visibly altered. His shoulders appear stripped down, his face looks drawn, and insiders are raising major concerns. The question on everyone's mind isn't just whether he can win, but whether his body will hold up when the bell rings. Conor looked very sharp at 160 against Chris Eubank, but had a much tougher time at 150 against Regis Prograis. Eubank.
Weight-trained Prograis is an older fighter now and came into the fight afterwards claiming that he wasn't 100%. Tim, how do you think this affects Conor Benn having now he has to go back down to 47 against a very talented fighter who's in his prime?
Look, first and foremost, let me just say this. My initial thoughts of this fight. Drug testing. Who's gonna be doing the drug testing?
Right.
That's one.
Right.
Okay?
Why do you say who?
Because I think it's very important, because I think that VADA has the most extensive drug testing in boxing, right?
Yeah.
They test far beyond anyone else. So I don't know. Ryan in the past has always said he doesn't like VADA. Victor Conte is no longer here, so that's the reason why. And then on top of that, both these guys have tested positive for performance enhancement drugs. So I'm saying to myself, is there going to be testing for this specific fight? For this fight here?
Ben got called too?
Supposed to be eggs or something like that.
I heard. It's a lot of dirt.
To understand why people are terrified for Benn, you have to look at the numbers. Conor hasn't officially made the 147-pound welterweight limit in over 4 years. 4 years, he walked around much heavier, building dense middleweight muscle for his battles against Chris Eubank Jr. Shedding water weight right before a fight is standard, but forcing your body to burn off functional muscle tissue is a completely different nightmare. When a fighter carries that much weight for years, dragging their body back down to a lower class can leave their legs hollow and their stamina completely wiped out by the mid-rounds.
We move on, Tim. I'm afraid you are going to have to answer the question.
And the last thing is that in the last fight that we saw with Conor Benn, he was at what 150-ish. Legs didn't look stable at all, right? He looked a little off. Balance was a little bit off. I didn't think he performed well, right, against Prograis. But I would say that in this camp here, if he stayed down in weight and kind of acclimated his body, I think he'll do well at 147.
I think so too.
Pounds. I think he'll do well.
What do you think?
Look, this is going to be Conor Benn's I think first fight at 147 in 4.5 years, so that is not easy. I've been around Conor Benn a lot. He's a big guy, but he only had 6 weeks to make weight for the Regis Prograis fight. I think it's going to be a better weight cut this time around. He did it once before earlier this year. Now he has a lot more time to do it. And don't forget, right, Tim? He was a massive puncher at 147 years ago. I think about the fights against Chris Algieri, Chris Van Heerden. I'm not saying those guys are killers, but those were big knockouts.
Ryan Garcia and Conor Benn, I almost called him Nigel, and Conor Benn are both big, strong, power punching welterweights.
They are.
If you're around Ryan or Conor, you can see they're big for the division and they can both punch for the division. But speaking of the Prograis fight, as a future Hall of Fame athlete, Shady, I do think there's something to, well, why can't he get up for this fighter the way he can get up for that fighter? Because the reality is, you cannot simulate the adrenaline. How do you really simulate the adrenaline to get up for a lesser fight on a smaller stage? It's not the same. It's not going to affect you the same way, one would think, you tell me, as when you have to fight a greater threat on a bigger stage. His best performance was against Eubank in the rematch.
And that's a great.
Even the promoter who guided Benn's career for years isn't hiding his concern. Matchroom chairman Eddie Hearn admitted in a recent interview that he genuinely worries for Conor down at 147 pounds. Hearn pointed back to Benn's fight against Regis Prograis at a 150-pound catchweight, noting that Benn already looked stripped of his explosive power and visibly tired at that weight. Shedding those additional 3 pounds to hit the welterweight limit isn't just a minor tweak. Hearn warned it could prove catastrophic. In his eyes, going up against an elite fast-handed power puncher like Ryan Garcia, while physically compromised, leaves Benn wide open to a devastating night.
Ryan Garcia versus Conor Benn, obviously it's been over 2 years since he fought at 147. How do you expect Conor to fare in that fight?
I think Conor's always going to be competitive. He trains really hard. He's got a lot of heart. I don't like him at 147 pounds now because that was one of the problems in going to 160 to fight Eubank. To come back to 140, it's a really tough thing to do. And I think when he fought Prograis, was it 151 or 150? He just didn't look the same. He looked like he was lacking power, didn't look that strong. And Ryan Garcia is a guy who's kind of built his way up to 147. He's super fit and good at the weight at 147. And he's a world-class fighter who punches very, very hard and very sharp. So Conor's always going to be in the fight because he's got a lot of heart, but I don't see him winning that fight at 147. I think his better weight will be up towards 154. I don't think middleweight's his weight either, but I think he'll find it really tough to make that weight, and I don't think he'll feel physically where he needs to be. But listen, even with everything that's gone on, he's a British fighter. I hope he does.
If you look deeper at the stats, the warning signs around Conor's punch power become even harder to ignore. Despite his reputation as a ferocious knockout artist, Benn hasn't stopped an opponent inside the distance since April 2022, which coincidentally was the exact last time he weighed in at the 147-pound limit against Chris Van Heerden. Every single fight since then has gone to the judges' scorecards. While casual fans assume Conor impulsively signed up for this brutal weight cut just for a payday, behind-the-scenes revelations paint a very different story.
Obviously, Conor Benn is that he's not been at welterweight for 4 years. He's boxed at 160 pounds.
Yeah, he looked interesting.
As ex-fighters, we know how hard it is to come back down in weight. Yeah. He hasn't carried the strength back down with him, making 150 last time out. Yeah. Barry, explain to the people how difficult it is to lose 3 pounds in body weight, fluid, when you're tight at the weight already. Because he looked dead at the weight of 150. So 147, that is my concern. I don't
have the time to tell you.
That's what I'm saying.
To go through it in detail, but we all
that's my
maybe
concern.
Not Fraser.
That's my concern for him.
Too.
Punch power, punch resistance, all of that gone. And the one thing that we don't know about Conor Benn yet is he world level? Because we don't know that yet. He's not. He's not boxed anyone. Well, it's
interesting
at that level yet. So it's an interesting fight.
It's interesting. That's a very point I made on. I was thinking about when I saw that he was fighting Regis Prograis, and Prograis, came up from light welterweight. He fought Josh Taylor all those years ago. Very good fighter, world champion momentarily, and then Josh took the title off him. But I asked, that was the very same thing I thought. Okay, he's fighting Eubank at 160 pounds or thereabouts. Then suddenly he's dropping to, at an advanced stage, he's dropping to 147. What it takes out of you to drop that weight, it just kills you. It really takes so much strength. Your resistance goes. You don't even know it. Suddenly, I can't take a shot anymore. Your resistance goes. Your ability to be explosive goes. All of that, and that's exactly the point I was thinking. How's he going to do 147 and be strong again? And I'm not convinced that he's still strong at 147. I think he's got a bit older. He let the bar out to go up and fight Eubank with 160 pounds. The difference between 160 and 147, it's only 13 pounds, but it makes so much difference to a guy's ability to hold a shot, to deliver a shot, to be explosive, to have that explosiveness in the middle of a fight and near the end to be able to get a guy out of there. All of those things go when you burn yourself down to make weight.
WBC President Mauricio Suleiman recently exposed that Benn had been in secret communication with the sanctioning body for nearly 3 years. Even while putting on muscle to fight Eubank Jr. at middleweight, Benn was quietly working with the WBC behind closed doors, insisting that his ultimate goal was always the 147-pound green belt. But planning a career move on paper and forcing your body to survive the physical reality of that cut are two completely different.
I was going to ask you about him at 147. A lot of people have made it a factor in the fight. When people talk about like Conor's chances, they're like, the first fight at 147 in 4 years. But from your end, nothing to worry about on a Conor side of weight.
No, because look, he was 147. We took fight because we knew the Eubank fight was going to happen. We took fights up at 154 for that reason. He's not a 160 fighter. 154. He was okay at 160. He's nowhere near that. So, to come down to 147 with plenty of time ain't a big deal. It was a big deal last time because he got hit with a 6 weeks notice fight.
Of course, yeah.
And he had to make 149 in 6 weeks.
Yeah.
And he had no knowledge of fighting before that, so he weren't really in camp. He had 6 weeks to get ready. So of course it was going to be a bit of a struggle to make 149. But he's had ages now to get this weight down.
Yeah.
And if you watch any of his stories, he's been on the road.
Yeah.
For the last couple of months getting this weight off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, and we've still got like 2 months to go yet.
Yeah.
So, he's going to be fine.
Behind closed doors, Benn's team insists the public has it all wrong. His performance coach revealed they anticipated this exact weight issue and enforced a strict 165-pound ceiling months before training camp even began. Their plan wasn't to crash diet or sweat out massive amounts of water in a sauna at the final hour. Instead, they utilized high-volume running and controlled caloric deficits to gradually burn off middleweight muscle tissue. But even with high-level science, fighters who force their body back into a lower weight class often discover that biological limits don't care about a training plan once the real pressure hits.
As a person and also as a fighter, how badly does he want to win?
Win is everything. Conor gave everything in that first fight. We obviously adapted, and I'm happy to talk about the changes that were made into the second one, but he was carrying a lot of weight on his shoulders. I think in hindsight, we did everything we could to prepare well. We had a great training camp, zero excuses first time round, but the turbulent time and what he'd been through, there was lots of unknowns in that first fight, going out in front of 62,000 people at Tottenham, first fight in the UK for a couple of years, never boxed at 160 pounds, a natural 147 pound fighter, never boxed anyone near the caliber of Chris Eubank Jr. and who Chris had been in the ring with, never did a ring walk like that. He performed very, very well. In fact, the overriding emotion and feeling was pride, but you can only be proud once. We couldn't take that into the second fight. The second fight we had to win. We wanted to win the first one. We did everything we could to win the first one. Conor came away with his head held high, and we then put the steps in place to win the second one. To your question, Conor gives everything to win. Everything. Everything is set up. He invests heavily in his training camp. He has the best people around him. He doesn't take it for granted. He is an incredibly disciplined, hard worker, and he'll just work so hard every day to ensure that he gets his arm raised. Sometimes that may not happen, but you better believe he's done everything he can to ensure that it.
Standing across the ring is a champion who isn't struggling with weight at all. Ryan Garcia has settled comfortably into the 147-pound division, bringing blistering hand speed and a left hook capable of ending fights in a split second. Former world champion Kell Brook recently shared that fighters who sparred Garcia claimed they had never been hit as hard by anyone else in their entire.
You know, I went to Vegas, you know, to finish some sparring off, and I was sparring with some good kids, and I put it onto this kid. I had a really good spar. Do you know what I mean? I was punching hard, and we had something to eat after, and I don't know if I said, listen, I can punch hard, can't I? You know, like that, or got onto that kind of chat, and I went, who's the biggest puncher you've been to? Don't forget, I'm a lot older than Garcia. And he said, I've never been hit as hard as Ryan Garcia. You know, like that punch power, he's got that snap.
The speed
as well.
Yeah, the speed. I think he's the quickest fighter pound for pound in the world right now.
Yeah,
I don't even think anyone's remotely close to him. Pound for pound, the speed. I haven't seen speed like him since Amir.
Yeah,
Amir's the quickest I've ever seen. Up close on, I've trained alongside him for GP. You can't. I'm 4 punches, but yeah, like it's blinding speed. Like you've never seen speed like it. With Garcia, it's the left hook that's the real power shot with him.
Garcia knows the rumors floating around Benn's camp, and he's been weaponizing them online, predicting a knockout in 5 rounds or less. While Benn fights his own scales, Garcia is sitting comfortably, ready to unleash maximum power on a target that might not have the legs to escape. What makes Benn's weight gamble even crazier is that Ryan Garcia isn't just confident. He's actively looking straight past him. In recent interviews, Garcia dismissed the threat entirely, claiming he has much bigger fish to fry, calling for a super fighting against Gervonta Davis at 147 pounds and targeting a unification bout against the winner of Teofimo Lopez and Rolly Romero.
I want to win. I want to fight Teofimo Rollies as the winner.
Not the Rolly. Win the winner of that
That's
fight.
what I want to end my Golden Boy career with.
Who's gonna win that fight?
Probably Teofimo.
Odds are pretty close.
Yeah, I feel like Teofimo has his number. I think the sparring is gonna play a part in it, and I feel like Rolly's, he's gonna have they're gonna both have a sense of hesitation because of the sparring, but I think because Teofimo has so much belief, like when Teofimo really, really believes in himself, like he didn't seem like he was confident with Shakur at all in the lead up. But I think this fight, he knows what to do to Rollies.
So you don't even care about avenging the Rolly Romero fight, it sounds like.
Not really, man. That's not my best, but one day, you know, if I could complete a side mission to like redeem myself for that, or like right that wrong, I will. But right now, I feel like I have bigger fish to fry, you know, and it's gonna happen. But it's gonna happen when I'm like, all right, let me just fill this little thing in I have to do. Yeah.
All right, so if you get the Tio Rolly winner after
Tank rematch is bigger.
Hey man, what weight?
He has to come up to 47, bro.
I was gonna say, because there's no way you would do that again.
But if he's a man, he'll be like, all right, he did it that way, let's do it this way, and when I beat him, then we can have a trilogy.
Okay.
Right? That's fair.
Why not?
Is it fair?
I guess so, yeah, that's fair. You went down.
Right, I went down, you come up.
I just don't know that he's gonna do it. He's not as big as.
But why is he like that? Like, where's his competitive spirit at?
It's a fair question. I don't know. But yeah, we definitely need to see.
That's what kills boxing. Is like when people don't have the competitive spirit to like get in there. It's like it's.
To make matters worse for Conor, he's stepping into deeply hostile territory. While Benn is a mainstream superstar across the UK, fighting in Las Vegas on Mexican Independence Weekend means the crowd will be overwhelmingly stacked in Garcia's corner. On top of that, the event itself is a massive, volatile co-promotion between Oscar de la Hoya's Golden Boy and Dana White's Zuffa Boxing. With 2 rival bosses guaranteed to spark fireworks on stage during fight week, Benn carries the immense pressure of Zuffa's multi-million-dollar investment on a body that looks thinner by the day.
Like, can this go the distance and it's fine, or?
I would be disappointed in myself if it goes the distance. I'll be real. Like, if I don't get him out of there 5 and below, I'm gonna still finish the job and play around with him and beat the shit out of him. But it's not gonna feel as good as me really knocking him out. I'm being serious, man. Like, I'm gonna be vigorously disappointed in myself if I don't get him out. Unless I break my pinky or some dumb shit. Then I'm like, all right, well, that's why, you know?
And then what?
And even then, why didn't I knock him out with one hand? You know, he's not that good.
You really don't think you're underestimating him, maybe?
No, not at all, bro. Watch him fight.
And then what after that? All right, let's say
if Regis was able to tag him up.
Yeah, that was surprising.
No, but I'm saying tag him up.
Right.
It's not like he hit him up one punch. He was tagging him up.
Yeah. I don't know.
Am I not quicker than Regis?
Oh, yeah, here.
More aware?
I think you have the quickest hands in boxing. People try to argue with me, but
no, I do.
That's the honest.
I think I have the fastest 1 to 3 punches in boxing. Benavidez has like 5, 6 punches, but I don't really throw combination.
Right, Benavidez.
Combination puncher. I think fastest combination puncher in the game.
I'm talking one punch, like your left.
Yeah, I'm the fastest one. Yeah,
you can throw it from anywhere.
Some could argue I'm one of the fastest in history.
Pressure mounting on Benn goes far beyond physical weight cuts. His career has been a roller coaster of intense drama, from the legal battles and banned substance accusations that nearly ended his career to signing a massive $16 million deal with Zuffa Boxing. Capturing the WBC title isn't just about winning a belt, it's about ultimate redemption and silencing every single critic who turned on him. But taking on an elite champion after a grueling weight drain is an enormous risk. A loss doesn't just halt his momentum, it threatens to trap his career in a cul-de-sac he might never climb out of.
You know, you're with Zuffa Boxing. You were one of the first major signings with them. How important was it to you to get on board early?
Do you know what? It just goes to show that I have faith in them. You know, and you see a lot of fighters now following suit and coming through. You know, for me, it's about making the biggest and the best fights possible, and Zuffa have continued to show that. You know, and we're here now fighting for the WBC World Title, you know, in Las Vegas in T-Mobile. So for me, it's about being that trailblazer, you know, where people now follow suit. And I'm seeing a lot of fighters now starting over, like Shakur. You know, who knows, maybe Haney's going to come over. You've got Jaya Pataia over here. You've now got Johnny Fisher. I think it's only a matter of time. But ultimately, every decision I make sure it's the best decision for me and my family. That's all that matters.
To casual fans, losing 3 extra pounds sounds like a minor detail. But inside a boxing camp, those final pounds are where chins get broken. Former opponent Regis Pigrias openly admitted after seeing recent camp clips that Benn looks surprisingly small, questioning if the weight cut is already taking a severe physical toll. When a fighter dehydrates to hit a limit their body no longer belongs in, the fluid buffer surrounding the brain thins out. Punch resistance drops drastically. What used to be a shot he could absorb suddenly becomes a nigh-tending blow, and the ferocious power Benn relies on can completely evaporate. When the bell rings in Las Vegas, this fight won't just test who is the sharper boxer, it will test the extreme limits of human biology. Conor Benn possesses the heart, fury, and determination of a warrior, but no amount of heart can replace a drained gas tank when heavy punches start landing. Will Benn prove the doubters wrong and shock the world, or is he walking straight into a trap created by his own scales? Let me know what you think in the comments. That's all for today. If you enjoyed it, remember to leave a like, subscribe, and ring that bell icon so you never miss our upcoming videos. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments section. Stay tuned and we will catch you in the next video.